Welcome back. This is Eric with Satisfied Incorporated, and today I hope I have something that makes the E21 crowd happy. If you own an E21, you're probably familiar with this unit, which is the HVAC unit. It like the rest of the classic BMWs has some issues. You might be familiar with it, you might not, but if you are, you know there's a cable that goes right here, and it hooks in right here, right? That goes up and down, and the cable connects to there, and then the housing goes right here, and then there's a clip that goes into here. So what happens all the time is this breaks, and then I mean you're pretty much screwed. You have to buy this whole new unit, and so these units are getting more and more rare. And if you can find them, I think they're going for, I don't know, $250 to $350 for a decent one right now. We really haven't had a fix. I've been having problems with these in my car. When I very first got my car, I broke the one side. Okay, so I had to get a whole new unit. I got a whole new unit, and I was like, my life's pretty good. But what I did is I broke the temperature side, and I think it's because my car's modified, so it's not the temperature control is not in the correct place. So I think it stresses it out a little bit more. But my plan has always been, in the summertime, I will just slowly, carefully close this while somebody's at the valve, slowly, carefully closing that. And then the summertime, I'll just leave it closed. Wintertime, I'm going to come back and I'll slowly, carefully turn it to the hot temperature while somebody at the valve is slowly helping it along. So that was my plan. I thought I was going to be able to baby this through the rest of its life, and I'd be good. The other day, I went to go turn the vent knob, and I just turned the vent knob and I didn't put much thought into it, and then it snapped off. It's not actually this unit that I used. I've got 3 extra units of these here, and they're all broke on both sides. It's just, it happens. And so we didn't have a really good fix to that. But when I broke mine the other day, I just started looking at it, and I thought, hey, can we make this better, and can we make this work? And I came up with a fix that should be able to fix all these broken ones. So hopefully if you have one of these, you saved the broken one, because I now have a fix, and it's cheap, and this is not a temporary fix. This is not a cheap fix. This should be the end of it for us. So I'm going to go walk through. You can see on, sorry, the lighting's looking a little different. On this side, I've got it installed. This side, I do not have it installed. This is what we're installing. So we're going to install this. This is a 6061 aluminum, and this isn't going to break. This isn't going to bend. This is a permanent fix. So, like I say, I got it installed on this side. There you can see it a little bit better. So I'll walk through and I'll show you how easy it is to install on this side. So the hardest part of installing one of these is actually going to be the removal of this unit, which actually isn't too bad. But just to give you a heads up, you got screw hole, screw hole, screw hole, then you got a screw hole and a screw hole if you remove these knobs. So once you pull out those 5 different screws, you'll have the cables that attach back here. But you can start pulling this out once you remove those 5 screws. Then you can remove the cables from the temperature valve and then the vent area. So it's not actually that bad, just giving you a heads up, but you're going to see how easy it is to replace these plates. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take this little slider part off, and all you need is like a 6mm nut. See if I can get you a good view on this. But basically just put the nut in there. I don't know if I can do this while I'm doing the camera, but you just push that nut on there, and then you wait till it's collapsed, and it'll just pop right off. So basically just like that, just push the nut on there till it compresses that, and then that'll come off. And then this part I haven't quite figured out. If somebody can figure this out, you let me know. But you got if you can see it, but you have these like capture washers on here, and they're pressed on and they're not made to come back off, I don't believe. So I did one the other day and I was able to come in here in this recess. See if I can do it again. I don't know. I think you're risking damaging the panel. Yeah, so I don't know about that. So I don't know if you can save it by coming in here and popping that off. What I've been doing is I'll just come in here with like a small screwdriver like this, and then I just work it a little bit, and then it'll come off like that. And that one actually came off pretty good, really good. I could probably press that back on there. It's only the second one I've got off that I could probably press back on. The other side, as you can see here, I did this one and I popped it off this way and it came off in the same condition, but all the rest of them I've been doing snap and they break into pieces, and you can't reuse them. But what I found out is that there's such a tight fit in these two pieces that I didn't reuse the ones that I made for my car, and it's not even close to being a problem. So I say if you got to break those off, or if somebody's smart enough to leave a comment about how you get those off legit, let me know. But anyway, you take that ring off, push it out. So now this is going to pop off. And then you have the fiber optic lighting in here. So, and then it's all just going to come off like this. One big piece. And then you've got this piece here. It originally went on like this. It might be snapped on, but pull that off. And then here's what we're left with. You just have this broken piece here, and then you've got the rest of this stuff going on here. So what we need to do, if I can get a good view, we need to just flatten this out so we have a nice smooth surface. So cut all this off, and I'll do this real quick. All I use is an angle grinder. It's really quick and easy. But basically we're just going to chop, make that flush. So I cut most of it off, and then I just use a flap disc and I just grind it smooth. So something like that, imperfect's fine. We're not, doesn't even need to look good because it's going to be covered up. So once that's flat right there, we're going to take our piece. There's a right and a left side, which will make sense because the logo is going to be correct. So you just snap it on like that, and then there's a hole right here. And then we're going to put a 3mm screw in here. And then it's going to come down through right in there. It's going to come through, and we're going to put a nut on that. Yourself a nice set of like super skinny pliers so you can get down in there. That's it. So I mean, the plate's installed, on, and then you just reverse what you just did. So we're just going to go put that right back in. And then you put this back in. The only thing is get that back in first while you have a little bit of room in there. A little fiber optic. And I'm actually going to send you guys, so you put since you got this out, you probably, your bulb in here is probably burned out, or if it is, you probably have a stock one. But if you look how this works, there's the fiber optic goes in here, and then it lights up these three things. So the light comes out over here, light comes out over here, light comes out of here, but it all like works off fiber optics. And I'm going to send you guys an LED with this kit, and throw that LED in there if you want. And to me, it was amazing when I put one in my car. I didn't know half this stuff even lit up. Like, honestly, I knew like some things, you know, like the knob over here, and like there's a couple things over here, but this whole thing lights up and it's amazing. So I'll send you an LED, toss it in there and see how you like it. I think you'll love it. It's really nice to just be able to see. But anyway, back to the install. All you got to do is just put that on, snap that all in. So you snap that back in, and then steal it off this side. You just put your cable in, and then you snap that thing back down just like stock, just like factory. And then we're back at it. And this works. And so, I mean, I could try to break this for you, whatever. It's not going to happen. So it's pretty simple. You just put both plates in on each side, and then 5 more bolts, and then you put your cables back in their holders and tie them back up. Super easy. And I've had these in my car for testers while these are being made for quite a while. And like I just got done explaining, my plan was always just to be super careful with everything and not break everything. But because I was testing these now, I wanted to make sure they work. So now I turn the knobs as hard and as fast as I want. And it's hard to explain, but it's less than even a concern anymore. It's they're not going to break. You can tell when you put these in your car and you turn the knob, you're like, oh, this is the way it should have been. This is super solid. So that's the way they are. And you know, I could take these and I mean, you can't even like imagine how you would break them. They don't bend, nothing. These things are solid. So grab a set of these, and hopefully, like I said, hopefully you guys that have broken these have kept a bunch of these around, because now we can save all of these. The only real problem we've got with these is like the breaking on the top and the bottom, but that's not even half as big a deal as not being able to turn your temperature or your vents. So hopefully you guys are pretty stoked about this like I am. Like I said, I mean, just being able to use my temperature settings and my vent settings is a pretty big deal. So come grab a set of these. Like I said, I'm going to do a set of these. It'll come with all the hardware. And then I'll throw an LED light in there, which I'm telling you, put that thing in. It's amazing. And I'm also a big fan of just throwing the LEDs in the gauge cluster too, because then you can see everything. The lighting in the 70s and 80s was really poor, but I'm getting old. My eyesight's not working so good either, so maybe that's half of it. But come to my website, satisfiedincorporated.com. Check the set of these out, and message me on Facebook or email or whatever if you have any questions.